Major General Edward R.S. Canby couldn't have taken Mobile back in August of 1864 following the Battle of Mobile Bay. There are a few reasons why. The first reason being a lack of manpower. Canby did not have the proper amount of men to assault the city. The western land approach to the city was one of the most well fortified around it. There was a great series of rebel works and entrenchments, along with some forts that made up a deadly defense. Assaulting the city via sea would have been not much more safer, as the waters were still heavily mined and there were still some surrounding Confederate fortifications that would have made troop transport very difficult and costly. And finally, the eastern approach to the city, which was guarded by Spanish Fort and Fort Blakely, which at the time were not fully finished or fully manned. So why didn't the Union take these forts and then sail into Mobile from the east following the Tensas River? Well, there goes even more reasons, and I'll go right into them. And this goes into me explaining the Confederate numbers. Confederate forces under Major General Dabney Herndon Maury had about 10,000 soldiers in and around the city. When you put this against the Union numbers, which, under the command of Major General Gordon Granger, Edward Canby was not present due to him being the overall Army commander, they had about 5,500, only enough to take about Fort Morgan and Fort Gaines. So this is where I say finally, Major General Edward Canby couldn't have taken Mobile back in 1864. He did not have enough resources nor manpower to be able to do it. However, it would have been really nice though. Him and Rear Admiral Farragut talked extensively about severing Mobile's blockade running. By capturing Fort Morgan and Fort Gaines, they did this, and they would leave Mobile in Confederate hands all the way until April of 1865, when Edward Canby finally had enough resources to assault the fortifications east of the city and capture Mobile eventually on April 12th, 1865. Now watch the video again. It makes more sense that way.